Hello, I'm making this video to explain a little bit how I export things. Maybe it's not the most advised one, or there are tools to export it in different ways. So this is how I use it. You might find that some people use it in a different way. So let's say I've been making this collage. I do it in A3 usually. If you're in the States, you probably use inches, 5x7 and all that. But I do it in A3 and here we have one. So let's say I need a different size for a print shop and I need to export it. So the first thing I'm going to check, it's up here, this. You see that this says RGB. That means that we're working with colors. This is a very general idea, but we're working for our screen. So this is not meant to be printed yet. And if we want to print it, we need to change it to CMYK. How I do it is that I'm going to go and create the file with the size that I actually want. And you have here the presets, so you can choose print and look for it, or you can come here and do it yourself. So I think you were asking 5x7. I'll make sure that this has 300. This is not a rule, but many times this is like a good resolution for sending it to print. And see that here it says RGB color. Okay, so I'm going to, instead of RGB, go to CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, because this is what we're going to use to print. And I'm going to press create. So now I have these two files. What I usually do is I'm going to get the marquee tool, this one, and I'm going to select everything. So now, instead of just copying and pasting on the other file, I'm going to go to Edit, Copy Merged, or Shift-Command-Z. Why? Because this is going to copy all my layers. Otherwise, it's just going to grab the layer selected. So when I come here, I paste it, and see it's way bigger. So what I can do is to resize it. I place it where it should be, and see the proportion, it's a little bit different, but it doesn't matter because it's background. I put it up, and okay, so now we have these two images in two different color profiles. So we have the CMYK and the RGB. You'll sometimes, depending on how many blending modes and how you use color, you'll sometimes see that it's going to change a lot from one to the other, or maybe a little bit. So why do I do it like this? Because now I can come and make the adjustment layers or do any changes that I want. Maybe I want it more saturated, more light, more dark. I don't know, whatever I see the difference between these two. I mean, this is not going to be the most accurate representation because you're still watching it in a screen. So, you know, you won't have that idea, but sometimes you will see that things get a little bit darker when you work on CMYK, so you can definitely come here and use brightness contrast or whatever you want to use. So now I'm going to just save it, File, Save As, and I'm going to choose JPEG. Usually JPEG is enough. Some printers will ask you for a PDF or whatever, that depends on the printer, and I'm going to save it. So I'm going to save it on 12. Cool, there we have it. So that's how I do it because I want to have the control on my new file. But you will also find other options like here, File, Export. And this I use if I want to send something, if I want to export something that is going to be used online, like on a website, I will use Save for the Web. Or if I want to export a GIF or GIF, I'll also use Save for the Web. Or if I'm working with artboards and I have many options here, I'm going to export it from there too, because I can export each artboard individually. But otherwise, when I have to send something to print or I need to change the format, I always make a new file, I copy everything, and then I place it, I scale it, and then I save it through File, Save As. I hope that was clear enough. If you have questions, let me know. This was like a very Sunday morning explanation of how I do it. So I hope you're safe at home and talk to you later.